YouTube. I hope you are well. Thanks for clicking on this video to have a better understanding of the important difference between depression and sadness. So there is a lot of misunderstanding about depression and sadness. A lot of people think that feeling depressed means feeling sad all the time, and that's just not true. If you do have depression, yeah, there will be times when you feel sad, but a lot of the time you'll feel numb, withdrawn, very fatigued, and you may even sort of dissociate. This can be really frustrating because when you have depression and there are people who don't really understand it, it can be really hard for the sufferer, and I find it very hard. Everyone is sad sometimes. It's a normal human emotion, such as feeling angry, feeling jealous, but also feeling happy. Yeah, we do feel happy sometimes. Even depressed people can feel happy sometimes, okay? Sadness, for example, is, maybe putting something in the wash and having it come out and shrink. You'd be like, no, that might be more anger maybe. Or watching a sad movie, or maybe having a fight with your friend or your partner, and, you might have a cry, but afterwards you kind of move on, and, you're not left with this overwhelming feeling, this void, this emptiness, which depression can really make you feel. Nothing wrong with feeling sad. Like I say, it is rubbish, but it's a normal human emotion, and very different to depression, which is a mental illness. So it's not just about feeling sad all the time. It goes much further. A persistent sadness that seeps into your life when it doesn't belong, and it takes over because it is a mental illness, and it's not always caused by external sources. So you may just feel, if you have depression, you may just wake up one day and just feel absolutely low, fatigued, numb, the void, empty, and maybe nothing has caused that. Whereas sadness usually has a cause, usually has a reason, and then it affects your mood, making you sad. There are a lot of people out there, and I've met them, who treat depression as you would sadness. And if your friend was sad, you might say, come on, let's go out for a coffee, or let's put a good film on, or should I go to the shop and get you some chocolate? Or maybe your partner or someone you care for is feeling a bit sad. You might say, come on, let's get off the sofa and go out, and that is likely to cheer them up. But however, if you do this with people who are depressed, it can have a negative impact on both of you, because if you say to someone who's depressed, cheer up, get off the sofa, go for a walk, all of those things, as much as they're really really good advice that you would give to someone who is feeling sad, if you give that advice to someone who is depressed, it can make them feel worse, because then they'll be like, so my mood is affecting other people. Okay, I'll really try and get up, and I'll really try and wash my hair, and then maybe I haven't washed it in a week. Maybe peeling yourself off the sofa is just too much. So when someone says, oh, come on, let's why don't you make sure you get out of the house today, put a movie on to distract, it's really frustrating. And I can see why people do it, because they don't want to see their loved one, their partner, whomever it is, to feel sad or feel depressed. But it's two very different things: a mental illness and an emotion. Emotions can suck, but depression is longer, it's persistent, it doesn't go away. Unless you get therapy and move on, you may recover from depression, but a lot of people, it can happen every year. Major depressive disorder, seasonal affective disorder, things like that. And it's not just a case of cheering up, pulling your socks up and moving on with your day. It's just not like that. And when I've heard people say that to me, I have felt guilty. I have felt down, and I've thought, oh, there's something wrong with me. And of course there is. It's your mental illness telling you you're not going to get off that sofa. You're rubbish. You don't deserve to be happy. Excuse me. You don't deserve. All you deserve is to sit on that sofa and feel rubbish about yourself day in, day out. Totally different to sadness. So it's not fair on either parties if it's like that. So let's think about sadness again. So sadness could be thinking that the world is ending and turning on the news and thinking, yeah, it is actually. But then, that's just my opinion. I'm not thinking like, Armageddon. I'm just thinking the state of the world at the moment. And yeah, we won't go into that. And that, for me, can really make my depression worse. But you can also feel sad because of it. But you're likely to sort of watch the news, turn it off and go, yeah, the world's a bit rubbish. Oh, I've got to go to work today. I've got to go to college and I'm not really feeling up to it. But you'll probably go in and get distracted and your sadness will pass. Depression is thinking about the world is ending, and it actually feels like it is, which is why I know I don't watch the news. I've said this before, but Andy gives me little bite-sized chunks of the news and only the bits I really need to watch or need to know about. I read a lot of stuff online because I can pick and choose what I'm reading, and I can pick and choose the source that it is coming from. I'm going off on the side. So yeah, I don't watch the news because it does trigger me, makes me depressed or makes me angry, especially when I'm talking about politics. That makes me angry. But I'm talking about any kind of poverty, any kind of minority group that's being, put down and things like that. That really brings my depression down. Anyway, like I've said, I've gone off on a tangent. Obviously being sad is rubbish, and you can put on a TV program and say, oh, I feel sad and state of the world's rubbish, but then I might just go to the pub and see my friends, and then your sadness is gone. I can't stress this enough. Mental illness versus emotion. So if you do want to, chat to someone who's depressed and maybe support them in some way, think before you speak. Stop and say, remember, they're depressed. This is a mental illness. You wouldn't say to someone who had maybe diabetes or heart disease, cheer up, pull your socks up, let's go outside. You just wouldn't. So why do we say it to people who are depressed? A lot of people don't know how to respond to people who are depressed. They don't know what to say. Just say, I'm here for you. Can I make you a cup of tea? Can I do anything for you? Rather than saying you should do this, you could say, what can I do for you? And if that person is like, do you know what? I just want to be on my own. I want to zone out. I want to just stare at a wall. Whatever they want to do, as hard as that might be for you, supporting them by offering help rather than telling them what to do or offering advice, because we know what's going on ahead. And unfortunately, the person who's watching that person depressed doesn't understand it because they just think, well, they're a bit sad. Again, mental illness versus an emotion. I hope that video has explained it. I hope it's sort of relieved, cleared up some of the misunderstanding. Really hard feeling sad. And, when you do feel sad, you do sometimes feel, when will I feel happy again? And probably, maybe the next day. But depression is constant. And sometimes you don't feel sad. You just feel numb. It takes over your life, takes over your body, your mind, everything. And just makes you just want to sometimes be like this. I hope that's helped everyone. Thank you for clicking on this video. Please take care of yourselves. Please like and subscribe if you haven't